Vegans are multiplying. The main angle was my research and work into the effects of animal foods on our physiology and our biochemistry, our health. I'm vegan, I'd never go back based on what I know. When people see us train and they know we're vegan, they go, God, how do you do that? And you say, well, it's actually not so bad. And you just kind of tell them how easy it is and tell them how that they can do it too, and sharing it with a positive light. Growing up, why did no one question it? And I have no idea to this day why we don't question it. No harm is going to come to you if you just try.
So I'm here today with Michael Donohoe, the aerial acrobatics coach. Michael, what else do you do apart from this amazing coaching?
Pretty much nothing. I spend all of my time at Fierce Fitness where I work, and I teach a variety of classes, pole fitness and then circus fit. So I teach a lot of, like you said, aerial acrobatics, so circus, trapeze, aerial rings, aerial rope, and then I do a lot of hand balancing, and I teach strength and conditioning as well for people.
Wow, that's really physically demanding. So obviously the next question is, you're vegan. How long have you been a vegan for?
I've been vegan for over 3 years now, and previous to that I became vegetarian a number of years before that as well. So yeah, just over 3 years.
And was your motivation related to what you do, or was it did it come from a different angle?
It kind of came from two angles. The main angle was my research and work into the effects of animal foods on our physiology and our biochemistry, our health basically. But then coming up in the fast lane was I started becoming a lot more aware of the ethical treatments of animals. I of course became vegetarian first because I wanted to stop eating meat because I thought it was cruel to kill animals. But at that stage I was still unaware of the true meaning behind the likes of dairy farming and the egg industry, and even the honey industry. So just through my research then and looking at animal activists, people like Gary Yourofsky, for example, he was a big influence because he just, you know him, there's no holds bar with him. He just says, this is what's going on, you're involved in this, so either choose to stop or not. So it was a mix of the nutritional end of it, and then the ethical side came up really fast. So presently now, obviously I'm vegan, I'd never go back based on what I know. But I am still continuing my research and study into the effects of the food side of it.
I think it's ever evolving, that once you start learning about nutrition and health, you just keep going, because especially for you, that you just need to fuel your sport and your body with the right energy. I think it's most of vegans have had a similar journey, that once you start learning about one aspect, you just carry on going and start learning about everything else, and it all comes together. Was there any revelation or anything surprising that you discovered about either your health or nutrition, the way we eat, the way we're taught what's healthy, what isn't? Was there something that you, only once you became a vegan, that you discovered, oh, I never thought about this or realized that?
Oh, there's there's many of them, like really so many of them. The ones that, it was really interesting for me because the more I uncovered the truth around what we are told to eat through media and through even family, but again, it's not family's fault, it's just they were told the same thing we're being told. And one of the ones that stood out the most was the necessity to eat the likes of meat and eggs for protein. That was kind of one of the main ones. And even still now, there's more and more research showing that how nonsense it is. So how much nonsense it is. That was one. The other one then as well, of course, was the one that's on most vegans' minds as well, was the issue surrounding the necessity for calcium for strong bones and obtaining it from cow's milk. And again, once you start looking at that, you realise, hang on, it's really interesting because you don't question it. And I have no idea to this day why we don't question it. Or I do now because I'm a vegan, but growing up, why did no one question it? Why did our parents never question it, our great-grandparents? It's just whoever started it. It's obviously absolutely phenomenal marketing by the dairy industry, but I just don't understand how it was never questioned. And I think now, for myself, I think, and what's helping the world is the fact that vegans are multiplying, we're breeding, and things like social media and the internet are opening up the true information. So maybe that's the reason why it wasn't as known. And the same with, like you're saying, all these other revelations that, like, why they are becoming more aware now, I think, is mainly because of the information is being shared more. With thanks to social media has a lot of downsides, but this is actually one high positive side to it.
How about in terms of your personal regime and diet? Are there any favourite snacks or your personal tips and tricks that you've discovered over the years?
I've got, well, what I typically try to do is 90% of the time I would eat a whole plant food based diet. So I would, like, everything would obviously of course be vegan, but things like vegan hot dogs or a vegan cheesy pizza or vegan ice cream I would still treat it as a treat. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't use it as part of my regular eating, and I would encourage other people to do the same. I would, if you are a vegan or you're moving in towards veganism for optimum health, whether you're an athlete or not. Like I train 6 days a week. I train very hard, but if you just go for a brisk walk once a week to keep yourself well and healthy and longevity and everything, you should just eat as much whole foods as you can. So again, as much vegetables as you can cram in, especially your dark green leafy ones. Don't let anyone scare you away into thinking that grains are bad for you. It's absolute nonsense. Lots of fruits, and then your nuts and seeds, and just eating a variety is the key. And then of course, if it's a Friday night and you're like, I want to binge, and you want to eat a double salami, double cheese pizza, all made from the likes of tofu and textured wheat and so on, then go ahead, it's fine. What's interesting though, and from experience of someone who obviously used to eat meat and dairy and eggs and everything, you'll never feel as bad. Like myself and Terri have often sat at home and got an absolute binge with like a big pasta bake, and I'm not joking, we'd use like a block and a half of Violife cheese on it. But if you were to do the same with regular cheese and regular milk creamy sauces, you definitely don't feel as bad doing the vegan end of it, which is the bonus, but still keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you know if there are many vegans in pole sport and fitness?
Funny enough, there's now a Facebook group called I think it's Vegan Pole Dancers, and there's quite a lot of members. 109 is the number sticking in my head, but I could be wrong. But there's quite a few. It's in the world of sport, not just pole, it is increasing a huge amount, like really, really quick. Like even here, you have a number of speakers who are all plant-based athletes. So it's definitely becoming a lot more the norm. And people are becoming a lot more open to it. And in our world of pole, yes, there's definitely quite a few. There's quite a lot in the UK. In Ireland, not so much. There's a handful. We know a number of them. And then what's also a number of our students in our school are seeing how we benefit from it, and they're trying it themselves. So which is really, really great. So it's definitely something that's on the increase.
So you're essentially inspiring people to go vegan.
Yeah. Looking at sharing it with a positive light. Try not to be too negative, not bringing up horror stories or horror videos of animal cruelty unless someone asks for it. But we find the approach that works best is, and again, everyone is influenced in different ways. Like for example, the thing that really helped me was Gary Yourofsky's kind of almost somewhat aggressive tactic, but that was for me. But from my experience, not for most people. So for us, it's just sharing and chatting about what we eat at the dinner table, or when people see us train and they know we're vegan, they go, God, how do you do that? And you say, well, it's actually not so bad. And you just kind of tell them how easy it is and tell them how that they can do it too. And we find that it helps a lot.
Excellent, yeah. Do you have any advice for someone who might be hesitating a little, being a professional athlete or sports person, if they're hesitating, if veganism is the right thing for them? Do you have anything as a message that you'd like to share?
Well, one end of it, just do a little bit of research, do a bit of reading online, and that will help settle. The other thing as well is that no harm is going to come to you if you just try. So give yourself a realistic personal challenge, whether that's a week, whether that's 2 weeks, whether that's 3 weeks. Of course, a week or two is not really long enough to kind of see the benefits. But if you just try it yourself, and again, go into it with a somewhat of a good sense of knowledge to obtain your nutrition using a wide variety of foods. Because of course, like Oreo cookies, pasta and Coca-Cola are vegan. So it's, you need to make sure you're eating the right kinds of foods. But typically, if you're an athlete already who is not vegan, you're going to have a good knowledge base of what fuels you and what you kind of need. So it's just a question of educating yourself a little bit on getting the same foods that you need, but from plant sources. And of course, 100%, it's all possible. There's not one nutrient on this planet that you cannot obtain from plants. Like every amino acid, like minerals even, for example, every mineral on this planet originates from the soil, from the earth. So it's not hard to get them, but just a little bit more reading and a trial is the best thing to do. Just give it a go for a few weeks and you will see that it's not as difficult as you think.
I absolutely agree, yeah. Thank you, Michael. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.